I think one of the most frustrating things for me is when people complain about administrations or policies that they never really had a chance to influence in the first place. So, yeah. I originally decided to found March On at GW because post Women's March last year, I realized that a lot of people were into the excitement of the marches and the protests, but it wasn't really going much further than that. People still weren't voting, or people weren't aware of midterm elections or actual policy legislation. People weren't calling their senators. And so me and Nadia reached out to the Women's March organizers, asking them why they hadn't taken advantage of all the student potential on college campuses. And we asked if they would be interested in co-founding with us the first collegiate chapter of March On. So after we got a lot of interest around campus from people through different organizations and classes, we started to piece together our first few events following the umbrella organization March On and what their initiatives were for each month. Then we really started to make our main push for voter registration, because our organization's mission, as well as our parent organization's mission, is to really influence elections from the grassroots level. And we can only do that through getting people registered to vote and through getting people aware of elections that are coming up. For example, midterm elections in November. We hosted our first registration drive with high school students at the School Without Walls on campus. We actually registered like 35 students there. We got a lot more students to sign our petition to decrease the voting age to 16 just within the locality of DC. And we want to expand those registration drives to other high schools in the DC area in the fall, as well as lower income communities, communities of color, people where people don't have access to registration drives or don't have licenses, so they aren't registered already, or they just don't really have access to polling sites, so they don't really feel the need to be registered because they don't vote.
Elections have consequences, and we're sort of dealing with that. Finally, young people are speaking up and realizing the power of their voice, and I hope those who will be 18 in the next election will use that power to vote and also use their influence to help other people get out and vote.
Well, I think the younger generation oftentimes doesn't really understand how powerful they are and how powerful voting in that sense is. Voting at, the congressional level has the ability to have a chain effect all the way up to the top. So you're doing something very small. You're checking off a name on a ballot. Doesn't seem like a lot, but you're starting this ripple effect, and you're essentially impacting policies then, like gun control and abortion and all these other things that you're passionate about, and you're going to the marches for, and you're making the posters for, but you're not taking that extra step to make those march slogans and those poster sayings turn into actual policy legislation, which you can easily do through casting a ballot, which you can only do if you're registered to vote. So it's all a chain effect, and it starts from the bottom, and that's essentially the mission of March On, which is starting from the grassroots.
My generation is raising kids, they already own their home, they have huge amounts of debt, so they tend to become very involved with school issues. And younger adults tend to have a much more global view than previous generations, and they're also more diverse, and so I completely can believe that they're very much activists and very invested. They just are doing it as every generation does in different ways.